It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Raisi K, the Raisin Man.
What's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my cousin, pal, the man with the plan, the one and only John Meleka. And he's here today to help me break down, as always, the New York Knicks. John, what's going on, bro? How has your day been? How was yesterday? You were at the Garden, not for Knicks, because they were off as they were traveling to Indiana to play this game that just happened now, as we're recording at 10:28 p.m. on a Wednesday night. How was watching the Rangers home opener, man? What was going on?
Oh man, I was sick yesterday at the fact that the Yankees got pinned at the same exact time as the New York Rangers home opener, and then today we find out that the Houston the night on the Sunday games are going to get moved for their prospective teams. I don't even want to get into it because it's absolutely disgusting that it didn't happen for us. So I was already heated going into the Rangers game. I had to sell my Yankees playoff ticket because I'm taking a group into the New York Rangers game. So I have to kind of be there to take care of it. It was a really fun time. But I had the Yankees going on my phone the entire time on my stream. The Rangers were killing. They won, beat the Lightning, which was great because the last time I was in the Garden for the Rangers, we lost to the Lightning in the playoffs. So that was a fun redemption. Killed that. Yankees were winning the whole game. It was tied for a little bit. We were scared. But Cole was dealing, which we were hyped about.
For sure.
And then they played the Rizzo home run on the board, which I already knew it because I already watched it on my phone. Then I saw that they posted Rizzo, so that was sick. I wish I recorded it. The Garden went absolutely nuts. That was a really, really cool moment. Rangers home opener, Yankees ALDS game 1, Cole killed it, Rizzo with the crazy home run. That was really cool because we don't really get that where everybody's rooting for the same team that it feels like at the same time in New York with all the sports going on. So that was cool. Of course, reeling off the Jets. But man, New York Knicks, dude. I am really excited that this season's starting right around the corner. We just finished our third preseason game. There's only one more, dude. It's just like football. Right? There's only one more to go here. And damn, really soon it's going to be Rangers are going to be on, Yankees playoffs. The Jets are a real team. The Giants are a real team. You know, if you feel that way, apparently the Islanders are going to be good if you feel that way. New York sports right now, they're on a come up.
New York sports. Get that Stringer Bell gift from The Wire. Streets need to know that we're back up and running. New York, baby. New York is back up and running. Let's go. Finally, some good stuff for New York happening, man. If you're a Mets fan, sorry, but hey, at least you got the Yankees, Jets, Giants, Knicks. Sorry, Greg. Sorry I had to do that to you. But we got the Yankees, Knicks, Giants, Jets. I don't know about that other basketball team. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan,
that other basketball team, though, it's the best team they ever had with KD on it. So they're looking good too. They're happy. As happy as they can be. They just don't have a big man. Other than that, they're rolling it high. And as you mentioned, the Buffalo Bills, bro. They're killing it in New York too. So,
hey man, New York is back up and running. But this is a Knicks podcast, so let's talk about these New York Knicks, man. They just played.
Come up. That's why we're so hyped. I mean, I know they lost, but that's why we're so hyped, dude. The New York Knicks are the closeout here. If the New York Knicks were bad, everyone would not be as excited about New York being on the come up to be a sports town. But the Knicks really round everything out here.
For sure, man. And tonight it was a sad loss. I mean, they had the lead for most of it, and they lost it towards the end of the game in the second half. But I know people are going nuts right now, and there's a lot of things that are going on. It's like, how do you everyone feel about Cam Reddish? Julius Randle had a good game. People are all upset with Quickley's decision making because they're like, oh, well, he's not actually a point guard. But I got my thoughts on that. And then you also have, how did we lose this game? Da 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 da. We shouldn't lose this game to the Pacers.
Who cares?
It's okay. It's preseason. We're not going to win them all.
82-0. I don't know. 82-0 still looking good, man.
82-0.
Still on pace.
Oh, man. Look, it's a long season. It's preseason. You're still working out some of the kinks. It's okay. I look at this game that it was lost because if you look at what times that people came in, you had Hartenstein that came in at the 5-minute mark. Quickley came in at the 4. You had Obi at the 3. You had Cam Reddish coming at 2. And then Deuce started at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they all played the remainder of the fourth. It's a lot of time. Pacers, besides Mathurin, and I forget who their point guard is right now. I'm looking it up. But besides Mathurin and their point guard, everybody else, their 3, 4, and 5 came in midway through, more close to midway through the fourth quarter. So you're talking about most of the team having fresh legs against our guys just running out of gas towards the end. But I also hear people. I get that. That's why I'm not taking too much out of the preseason game. In relation, think about playing 45 minutes straight of pickup basketball. Think about your legs and how exhausted they are. That's how they felt, especially considering that they played a second quarter. All right, so they played a lot of minutes tonight. Let's just pull off the brakes. It's okay. They quickly hive. It's okay. Evan wasn't shooting that well tonight. They needed someone to shoot. I think Quickley was like, hey, man, we need some shots. We need some 3-pointers. You got to go do it. Didn't really work out that way. That's just my takes on the game. I'm not too stressed about that. Cam Reddish, though, man, through 3 preseason games, 80% has been bad with 20 to 25%. 80% has been bad, 20% has been good. Okay? It's tough. It's tough for Cam Hive right now. It's tough for the Cam Hive.
Alex, I was told that Tibbs needed to be fired, and we needed to also fire Leon Rose, all because Cam Reddish didn't play minutes. I've literally been told that up until like 2 weeks ago. That's all. Tibbs is the worst coach ever. He's so stingent. He doesn't get girls. He's a loser. All these things because he doesn't play Cam Reddish. And when we play Cam Reddish, he either gets hurt, he's really inefficient, he makes boneheaded plays on the offense. How can you in the same mouth hate Julius Randle and his offense and like Cam Reddish? Like how? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Everything you hate about Julius Randle's offense, that's what Cam Reddish stars in. That's what he majors in. Like I don't understand.
It's man. Well, we all know why. Randle had this immaculate season 2 years ago and then just fell off a cliff. And then with Cam is just all potential and what he could be and the whole theory of what is Cam Reddish. You had the whole PG-13 Tracy McGrady comps. And it's like, guys, can he just be a role player coming off the bench first before we even give him that, those monikers? Can we just do that first? And look, man, I feel bad for Cam, but it's also like Cam also has to do the work himself. Like defensively, he's fine. I think defensively, from what I see, he's solid on rotations, solid doing all that stuff. Offense, I don't get some of these moves, man. Like I need him to drive to the basket more. I need him to stop trying to be all flair with like these spin around these spin step back threes. It just doesn't make sense. Like I know you're athletic, but just before you could go from in the league for any other player that we've watched, right? You got to do the basics first before becoming that type of guy that you're like, all right, you have clearance. You have the green light to do anything because you're just that dude. And Cam Reddish plays like he's gotten the green light to be that dude. And it doesn't make any sense. The whole point while he was down in Atlanta is that they wanted him to carve out a role as a role player coming off the bench before you get moved up to that next step, being a starter, playing majority of minutes. He didn't do that. We heard what it was. He's represented by Clutch. He wanted to be a starter. He thinks he's more than just a role player. Okay, cool. Comes to the Knicks, and we're asking him to do the same thing again. We're asking him, can you just show us to be solid on a role? And I know what everyone says, and they keep saying it. Well, he had that thing against Milwaukee when he was on the Hawks. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Like, yes, there's talent there. I agree. There is some talent in there. But can he put it together just to be a solid basketball player first before being that guy? That's all I'm asking. And so far on the offensive side, haven't seen it yet. There's been flashes, but haven't seen it.
And more importantly, does he deserve a spot in this rotation? I think it's obvious that the answer is no. And I think the coaching staff always knew that. I think they gave some grace to Cam Reddish all of last season because he came in halfway through the year. Honestly, half is being liberal about it. It was like maybe towards the last third of the season, came in, didn't play.
Remember, he was nursing an ankle injury before he got to play too.
Yeah, they let him rock. They were like, listen, just shoot around with us. You used to come out to shoot arounds, the early ones, right? If you came like the pre-game when we had access to that, like he was always there. What was
that one that we went to for that Timberwolves game? Was that January, February? Because he didn't even play yet. He was still,
That's what I'm saying. He was always there. He would always show up, and then he would leave before like the big media came, like where they were reporting on it. And they let him rock for a whole offseason. And they let him play now in these preseason games. And like you said, he threw out his numbers. He stinks, man. There's no spot for him in this rotation. It's unfortunate because he's the only small forward off the bench, right?
I mean, like, Grimes was here. He's not getting any minutes. You know that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, Grimes, like he's a natural shooting guard. He's moving up to small forward, but that's a natural position for Cam, man. He had this opportunity to jump in there. Grimes hasn't even played the preseason. Like, this should have been Cam Reddish's spot, man. And all he proved to me was he's not that guy. I'm happy he proved it. Like, you can't go 1 for 6 from 3. You just can't do it. Like, that's a tough look, man. You're not going to work on Tibbs.
On bad shots, bro. It's like I saw him take that turnaround. He was wide open for 3, and that was some good ball movement. It went from Hartenstein to Quickley to McBride, all the way to Cam in the corner, wide open. And he doesn't. You got to knock that down when you're wide open.
Yeah.
These are your opportunities.
That's going to be Grimes. That's going to be Fournier. And those are going to fall through. Honestly, that could be D Rose. That could be Quickley at some point too. And those players are going to have to knock it down. Hopefully it's a lot less of Obi. But if you can knock them down at some point, that'd be nice. I remember those old days where RJ was leading the league like at a 47% clip or whatever it was from that corner 3.
Yep.
So that'd be nice if he gets in there. We mentioned Hartenstein here. What do you think about him, man? He's so up and down. Like, he is going to give us fits as New York Knicks fans this year. I'm telling you right now, put it on the books. We are going to fight about Hartenstein. Not you and I. Maybe you and I. I'm like, this is the Knicks fan base in general, man. I don't even know what side I'm going to fall on because there's some places I'm like, dude, what is this guy doing? And there's other places I'm like, give the ball to Hartenstein. He's going to do everything. He's going to make the right pass.
That's why he's the backup center, bro.
Yeah, it's so interesting. What's your take on him, man? Because I know it's only 3 games, but you know the preseason opener is right around the corner on Friday, and then before you know it, he's going to be playing in Memphis in the game that matters. So, what do you think about him?
Solid on the defensive glass. You know, he had 10 rebounds tonight, had 7 points, went 1 for 3 from 3. That's fine for a stretch 5. Nothing crazy. 2 for 4 from the field. You know, hit both of his shots at the free throw line. Had 5 dimes, dude. Having a passing big, that stat right there is huge for a second unit that can move. He found McBride. He was finding Obi Toppin. He was just finding everybody, man, in rhythm, who was cutting back door, dropping bounce passes, dude. And he had the nice outlet to Obi Toppin, too. Like, it was iconic Kevin Love pass. Like, full court pass.
Okay. I know he looks like Kevin Love.
No,
And
no,
it's
I'm not saying it looks like Kevin Love. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just
I'm
saying
just saying, I
it
get
was
it. And he did the
iconic.
pass.
I'm just saying that pass was very iconic. That's all I'm saying. He's a solid passing big. That's all I'm getting at, dude. That's all I'm getting at.
Let me give you another comparison though. That he honestly does give me a little bit of vibes. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think we have recency bias, especially now in the recent days. He's been in the news a little bit. He gives me Draymond Green vibes. Like not this year's Draymond Green, but like remember a couple of years ago where he would just knock down that 3-pointer when you needed to. He was always scrappy on the floor, and he gets nice assists, man. Draymond Green till this day gets assists, but he obviously his shot right now, the backpack's been getting heavier on him. And like I don't know what's going on with his shot. It's just not falling anymore. But at one point, he had the perfect amount of books in his backpack, and he was knocking down those threes. And that's exactly what Hartenstein looks to me, man. And he makes boneheaded plays, and you get all pissed off about. He gets a million fouls. Like he just gives me like that typical Draymond vibe, and I wonder what this means for Jericho Sims too.
The only difference I'll say is that Draymond, one, can play point forward,
of course,
and two is like one of the top best defenders we've ever seen at his position in a very long time that can guard all five. That's obviously those are very big differences. But I get what you're getting at with that Draymond Green comp, a big that can just pass, shoot a little bit, do all those things.
Those dumb things, and you get pissed off about it. Be like, all right, it's fine. Like next play,
yeah, man. You know what? It is what it is. He's a backup center, and guess what? That's the reason why he's a backup center, and that's fine. I think with the second unit, when you have some passing like this, and when the offense starts to stall, it's just another dimension that we just have in the arsenal to get things going. The way he found McBride today, and Obi Toppin, even passing to Immanuel Quickley, guys who are cutting, that's the stuff that I'm like, there you go. You know who I wish was cutting like that for him to find? Cam Reddish, but I won't go down that lane.
Yeah, I think we did enough. But
for Jericho Sims, man, I don't know, dude. Like I still think Sims is going to get his chances in here. Look, Mitch has gotten better with his fouls. But if Hartenstein's like this, Sims is going to come in here.
This is our centers.
We saw
game 2 of the poison, preseason. Bro. Pick your poison. Was it going to be Mitch or is it going to be Hartenstein? Who's going to get the 5?
It could go either way, man. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think Sims is completely out. And with Sims, we saw a game preseason in the second preseason game. I think just to get him run, but Hartenstein wasn't great that game. Sims comes in, and it's like, okay, we have a third center, break glass in case of emergency. That's where Sims is right now because he's still developing as a player. If Sims post game gets better and he can work the short roll and really pass to everybody, we're talking another level to Jericho Sims as a center. But until he does that, Hartenstein, just because of what he offers for stretching the floor and helping the second unit, it's going to be different, man. It'll just be different. I don't know. What are your thoughts about Jericho Sims and where do you feel that he will fit into this rotation, lineup, whatnot?
I mean, the writing was on the wall once they signed Hartenstein. I mean, they signed all 4. I didn't realize they signed all 3 centers this year. They re-signed Mitch. They signed Hartenstein as a free agent, and they gave that extension to Sims. I didn't realize all 3. So he kind of knew where he was. He knew his role right as soon as it started. But I agree. I think he's going to get into these games. I think Mitch is going to get into foul trouble at some point. Hopefully he's healthy. I think Hartenstein's going to get into foul trouble. Hopefully he's healthy. You know what I mean? They have the same issues, and I think Sims is going to get his time. And I think that's good that we're going to keep him kind of healthy. Is he going to be running in Westchester or not anymore? He's like on the squad.
I think he's on. Yeah, he's on the squad. He won't be down. I don't think he'll be down in Westchester at all.
Okay, that's cool.
Last year he was a two-way player last year.
Yeah,
I think he will have many opportunities to get on the court just because you look at the stat line. You got 5 fouls for Hartenstein. If you're trying to save your stretch 5 for somewhere down the line, Sims can come in here in a pinch.
I get 10.
On the other hand, we'll see what happens to McBride. That I still think is up in limbo because they're still working Derrick Rose in. He didn't play Let's see, where is it? Yeah, he
Yo,
didn't play. He didn't
shout out,
play tonight.
shout out to I Hate Sean. I don't know what podcast he was on, but I saw a video of him talking to Robert Horry.
Yeah.
On one of these pods, and then they were like they were clowning on Sean a little bit, talking to because he was hyping up the Knicks, and so they made him go to the bench. And so he's like, "We have the best bench in the league. We have the best bench in the league." So he's like going, he's like, "We have D Rose," and Robert Horry's like, "No, don't even say don't even say D Rose because like that gives you like a different meaning in your head." You know what I mean? Like it's not D Rose. He's just some guy named Derrick. He has the same name, but he's not just the D Rose that you know. However, I would come back and say, is the 2 years ago? Can that be the D Rose that we're talking about? Because he was fine on the Knicks. Like that D Rose, the Knicks D Rose is good with me. And I think he can be that.
I think the name weight. I wrote this for Knicks Fan TV 2 years ago when I was writing about how he was so key to Immanuel Quickley and
yes,
mostly Immanuel Quickley. And I said the weight of his name still carries heavily around the league. When you hear Derrick Rose, you got to respect Derrick Rose. But it's not the Derrick Rose that was MVP Chicago Bulls. The Derrick Rose now is still a highly effective bench player. And I don't think he should be looked down upon as what you're making it sound like. If that's the case, that's crazy because he's still a legitimate veteran and still a productive player. I know he got injured last season, but prior to his injury, that second unit was humming because of him. We just saw how everything unraveled once he got injured. Derrick Rose is still important. To me, Derrick Rose is still an important member of the second unit until I see otherwise. And even a little bit during preseason, he's fine.
So if that's the case, then you're right. McBride is in trouble because Cam Reddish is going to go for Grimes, and Sims is going to stay there for insurance on the centers. That means McBride's going to have to go for D Rose.
Yeah, I mean, I think Derrick Rose will have nights where he's not going to play based on the scheduling and stuff
Not
like
even
that.
dress?
He might dress, but I don't think he'll play. He'll dress, but I don't think he will play. I think he'll have McBride come in there, but I still think to keep McBride active, you'll send him down to the G League more than you would do so Sims, because Sims legitimately our center situation could go any which way. I can't say that about the point guard position. You know Brunson's going to get 30-plus minutes. And I feel like Quickley would be the next guy up before Derrick Rose to do that.
Okay, but this is a good transition because our boy at Murphy7, catch him on the Winning Picks Weekly playlist that we do the full college football slate and the NFL gambling slate. We go through the full slate with the spreads on our Knicks Coming Jets Coming ATC YouTube. Chip was asking us what weird props he likes for the Knicks this year.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them revolved around these three things, and I want to talk about them, and they're all pretty similar. It's our three top guys, our Knicks Big Three. You could call it the poor man's Big Three, call it whatever you want. It's the Knicks Big Three now.
I think the moniker they've gotten right now is called the Mid Three.
No problem. The Mid Three. You don't think they could all average over 20 points a game?
Ooh. The potential's there for them to actually do that. Someone's not, though. I'm going to say someone is definitely not. RJ will average over 20. The question is, will it be Brunson or Randle who will be the second player? I think there's going to be one that doesn't. That's for first year, all of them coming together. That's a pretty high bar, in my opinion, to have them all averaging 20. That means
who's the question mark?
I think the question mark is either Brunson or Randle, who will be the next player to average 20. I think RJ is a lock.
You don't think Randle's going to average 20 points a game? That would be a really disappointing season for him.
I don't think
even
so.
More disappointing than last year.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think if he's averaging, it's not far from 20. If he averages 18, 8, and 4 while being efficient and you're still winning, that's fine. Because I think Brunson still needs his shots. and somebody else. Fournier's got to get some shots. Or just tonight, Fournier was getting shots. So
I think Brunson's the question mark because I don't think Brunson needs to score to be effective in the game. I think RJ and Randle do. I think if they don't score 20 points a game, the Knicks aren't a top 6 seed. They're not a playoff team.
So for tonight, Randle got 13 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. You're going to get games like that from Randle, and he was very
25 minutes. He's not going to only play for 25 minutes.
I know, but I'm still saying, like, you give him another 10. So if you give him another 10, do you think he'll get you up to 18? That's what I'm thinking. Like if you shoot him like this,
yeah, he shot no free throws.
Yeah,
so,
I guess.
Yeah, I think this is easy. If he plays 35 minutes, 2 more baskets and a couple free throws. Yeah. I think Randle will be averaging 20 points a game, especially because he's going to care a lot more this year, but in general, because we're going to be in the game. We're going to be in the game every single night because of Jalen Brunson. Because Jalen Brunson is a real point guard. We've been screaming at the top of our lungs. People are finally coming and seeing that. RJ Barrett is becoming a real basketball player, dude. He
looked phenomenal tonight. He looked phenomenal tonight.
He's unbelievable.
Finishing around the rim is looking easy to him.
I was gonna say that. He's not hesitating at the rim, and that's huge. And
he looks fluid as he's attacking. When he's out in transition, 1-on-1, he just knows what to do and how to position his body. It's crazy.
To the free throw line and actually hitting free throws.
6 for 7 tonight, man.
Dude, he's doing 7 for 14, including 1 for 5 from 3. I mean, unbelievable. If he fixes it.
Imagine if he knocks his threes down. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but I hear you. I hear you on that, and you make a really valid case for why Randle would be the second dude, because you even look tonight, Brunson with 11 points, although he went 4 for 14, 1 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3.
I'm more nervous about Brunson.
Free throws.
Definitely nervous about the 20 points for Brunson. That's for sure.
I was going to ask. So you're definitely on the same page with me that one of them is not hitting 20, because I don't see all 3 of them hitting 20, especially in the first.
I'm more worried about the Brunson because I just don't think he needs to. But I think that he can average 20 points, and it's possible that he will. I just Fournier's going to be on. Fournier's going to be on a couple nights. You know what I'm saying? Grimes is going to be on. Quickley's going to drop 25. So, that kind of stuff is going to happen. So he's going to get 16 points, 17 points. I think he's going to drop 30, once or twice, Brunson, this year. I just don't think he's going to average to, over 20 points per game, by the end of the year.
Okay. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I can agree with you on that, because when you look at Jalen Brunson's career, he hasn't really been averaging that much, close to 20.
But he's never played this many minutes.
I mean, last season was the closest he's played. He's played 31 minutes. He played, I'll say 32 minutes, averaged 16 points per game last season. Okay. Shot over 50% from the field. Good efficiency. Shot 37% from 3. Good efficiency. Not high volume threes. He went 1, but good efficiency.
I mean, by that mark, but on that efficiency, he went 4 for 14 today. But he cleans that up. He's almost at 20 points today. Only played 30 minutes, and it's going to go up during the regular season.
I'm saying with 32 minutes, how many more? Because you still got to get Derrick Rose Quickley. You have to get Grimes. All these guards need minutes, man. Evan Fournier, they're all guards. They all need minutes.
They're going to be sharing mostly.
I know, especially it's going to be mostly Brunson, Derrick Rose, and a little bit of Quickley, in my opinion. But
can we talk about Quickley?
Before we do, I agree with you that yes, I would probably be more hesitant on Brunson more so than Randle. I agree with you there.
Can we talk about Quickley here? Because he's the guy that kind of worried me today.
Why?
Lots of volume, right? I mean, last time, I'm just worried if the Knicks just aren't putting Quickley in the position for him to succeed. So last year in the preseason / summer camp or whatever, we had him try to be a point guard. It didn't really work out. Okay. Even though he was great as a 6-man, that 6-man role, we said, no, we want you to be that point guard. Everybody screaming point guard. Didn't work out. Now, coming back again, year 3 quick, he has a chance to, I mean, in a perfect world, he would be the best sixth man for this team. Like if we were creating a team with no bench, like to start with, like Obi Toppin, perfect power forward, backup, Immanuel Quickley, sixth man. You know what I mean? Come in there, be that shooting guard, and kill it. That would be perfect. You know what I mean? Obviously, we have the Grimes Fournier situation. I just feel like he's out of his element. Do you think he's going to be doing too much when he's on the court, or is he going to be actually the perfect catalyst when Brunson's on the bench? So it's going to be like kind of Brunson's running the show or Quickley's running the show, because you got to keep that tempo up. And they're the only two that can really keep it up for long periods of time. I think Rose does it in spurts when he's healthy. I think RJ could maybe do it in a spurt or two, like, once or twice a game, and that kind of sustains it. Like, what are your thoughts on Quickley? I know we want to be positive. I know I want the best for Quickley. That if he does great, we do great. I still remember him literally saving games from hitting 3-pointers for us. So we want him to be good. I'm just wondering, like, if he's gonna only have like 13 to 15 minutes, or like 15 to 18 minutes, or like 18 to 21 minutes, like, is he gonna be weird with the ball?
I don't think so, in all honesty. And I think today was just a product of what the game was. No Derrick Rose today. You needed someone to come in here and just, create something out of nothing. And I'm trying to hold on one second. I'm trying to see, because Quickley was one of our top fourth quarter scorers last season. And I'd just say, Immanuel Quickley was our number one fourth quarter scorer last season. Out of all of our players, averaged 5 points in the fourth quarter, which was the highest. Next was RJ with 4.7, Randle with 4.1. I still think Quickley is important. I think for tonight's game, without Derrick Rose, when he's been coming in, Tibbs has made a concerted effort to kind of stagger for a little bit. So Brunson will be in there with Quickley. And while Quickley's with a point guard, I think he's just in that shoot mentality, because that's who he needs to be. Especially when you got Brunson out there running the show. It's like, Quick, your job is to shoot and go create. And I think he was stuck in that mode today, because he also brought in McBride. McBride tried to do a little bit of today. But I think Quickley kind of lost his way in what he needed to do. And you also had Fournier out there putting up a lot of threes. You also had, it was Quickley, Fournier, Reddish. It was those guys putting up a lot of threes today. Randle put up a lot of threes, and so did RJ. But I think for the purpose of having your guards put up shots and your wings, that was their role today. Put up shots, hit some threes, let's get something going. And it just didn't work out that way. It was gross. It was gross today. I'm not too worried about it. I still think, and we saw Quickley embrace that point guard role pretty well towards the end of last season. I still think that's in there. But once again, you can't be good with something unless you get a lot of repetition doing it. And it's just hard. It'd be like me saying, hey, John, I want you to be half an attorney and half a mechanic. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be great at both. You're going to be like, all right, I'll get it someday. I won't get it the other day. You know what I mean? So if you fully invested in Quick to be that point guard, which they haven't, I think they just like him being this combo guard. That's what he is right now. And I think that's why he's so good as a sixth man, because he's a combo guard. Depending on the game, what you need from him, if you put him into that mindset saying, I need you to be that playmaker, he'll be like, okay, go out there, be that playmaker. Hey, I need you to be that shooter today. Okay, I'm going to go out there and be that shooter today. I think he has two roles on this team, and it's hard for him to go back and forth. But this is the thing that's been part of Quickley's scouting report, is that he can go hot or he can go freezing cold, man. And today was just that freezing cold. He did this in college in Kentucky. He did this. He's been doing this since he's been a Knick. This is just who he is. That's all I ask from him, is just to be consistent as a shooter. And, it's preseason. I'm not making too much of it. I'm not going to make too much of it.
Just a full episode.
We're going to talk about it all next week, all 1 hour. John and I deep dive into Quickley and what he can do. No, I was playing. But no, I'm not too worried about it, but I'm expecting to get some more similar nights like this during the regular season, just because that's who he is. It's just, can we get more of him being on than off?
Fair enough. But before we get out of here, I know this is a preseason game. I know this is a sensitive topic in Knicks land.
We talking Julius Randle?
We're talking Julius freaking Randle, baby. Talking Julius freaking Randle, Alex. He has a point guard. Is this going to be the best contract in basketball?
With Brunson being the point guard?
Julius Randle, he's going to be in what? What's the salary cap next year? The contract's going to be going crazy 1 or 2 years.
I think so.
Julius Randle, whether you like it or not, is the catalyst for whether or not the Knicks will be a playoff team this year. And if we make the playoffs, he is the reason we will either win a series or lose a series. And honestly, he showed that when in the year of the 4th seed. He took us throughout the whole regular season, carried us, and he sucked against Atlanta. And we sucked against Atlanta. You know what I mean? And he sucked last year, and the Knicks sucked last year. And I think this year we finally have the pieces around him to be good. And I think he's going to be good. I think the Knicks are going to be good. And I believe that the narrative, I'm telling you, Wednesday, October 12th, after the Indiana preseason game that we lost 109-100. The narrative will be, oh yeah, great. The Knicks are doing it in the regular season. We've seen this before. Let's see what happens in the playoffs. Last time they got killed by Atlanta Hawks team, which is our fraudulent. And let's see what happens. Let's look that 100%. Tibbs doesn't win in the playoffs. Tibbs the regular season a guy. Julius Randle, regular season guy. I'm telling you that's going to be the narrative when the Knicks do well. So I kind of like where we are right now, where the Knicks are supposed to suck. People are laughing at me when I say the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. We're not going to be a play-in, and people are laughing at me. I'm telling you, the Knicks are legit because they have a bench and because they have point guards on the court to start and on the bench. It used to be one or the other. You start one for 7 minutes as like a ghost point guard, and then you put the real point guard in, and then like once he gets tired, you put the other backup in, and then maybe like switch it out. No, we have point guards on the court at all times. And Obi Toppin's a real player too. Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, like those are catalysts on our bench, man. I do think we have the best. We have with no argument, we have a top 5 bench in the league. No argument.
Yes, I'll give you that.
No, like 100% top 5. And what else? That's it. That's all I can ask for. Some of those are in the West. So, like, we are a top 6 team in the East, man. That's all I have to say. It's not overreaction to the preseason. All the preseason did was affirm for me because in general, especially with basketball, with this being such a small preseason too, the only thing you could learn is this team's going to be a disaster or not. And we learned that the Knicks are not going to be a disaster. Like you see some teams around the league, like, oh, okay, like I see what's happening here. Oh, this team is really thin. With the Knicks, you're like, okay, this team's not going to be a disaster. That's step one. We're going to be way better than last year. And last year, we underachieved so badly before the All-Star break. I just don't see that happening again. Things are looking up for the New York Knicks, man, for the first time in a long time.
You know, I think Randle will be part of it. I like what Richie said on our podcast, and I agree with it. If you haven't checked out that episode, go check out that episode with Richie Moore, a.k.a. Knicks Media, a.k.a. Jets Media. Does a phenomenal job. Make sure to go check out his channels. He said that it's going to be an even offense. And I think that is the success of this team. As long as Randle can carry his part, I don't think because we made the playoffs as a 4 seed 2 years ago on the shoulders of Randle and having a solid second unit. But mostly on the shoulders of Randle. Now it can be a team sport, and you hear it in Tibbs' voice and in his pressers. Last season, how many times did we hear it has to go through Julius? That was like the mantra. It has to go through Julius. It's a team sport, but it's got to go through Julius.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Julius. This season, you listen to Tibbs' pressers. It's how does Julius fit? Much different tone. Much different tone.
Good.
And I agree with it. It has to be, how does he fit? So I think Randle will only be part of the equation, because I think the other part is, if RJ is what he's like right now in preseason, if Brunson continues what he did in Dallas, if we have that second unit that you're talking about, it's going to be a collective team effort that gets us there. I think Randle's just got to be part of the puzzle. It's not going to be on the shoulders. It's just part of the puzzle.
I'll tell you what, I could foresee a scenario where we have a couple all-stars. I could foresee a scenario.
Oh, woof.
It's possible. No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's probable. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I can foresee a scenario where the Knicks win games, and you just by sheer numbers, you have to honor RJ Barrett. Like, you just, like, he's, like, his numbers are going to be there, or you have to give props to Jalen Brunson. But it's tough. I know it's tough because the guards are tough to get into.
Or we got to also give respect to the guy that we haven't mentioned yet. And there's Mitchell Robinson, because he's been consistent throughout this entire preseason. Mitch is in shape, and he's looked solid.
Listen, I don't know if Mitch is going to get these All-Star game credentials, but he could be on the list for defensive player if he is who he says he is. Forget what anyone else says. If Mitch Robinson is who he says he is, this defensive monster, this guy who's also going to affect the center on the offense too, right? That's his plan. And you wear that other guy down, man. You wear the other guy down on both sides of the floor. And I've played big man plenty of times in my life. When the other center or the other big man is one dimensional, it's the biggest relief, because I can literally take off for half the game. And that's what people are doing against Mitch Robinson. They're literally taking off because they know he's not going to do anything on the offense. And on the defense, the Knicks weren't really a defensive juggernaut. Now they are. You see what happens when the guards keep getting back on D. It's easy to be the anchor when the guards are playing hard. You know what I mean? It's not like every defensive play is you break it and then there's somebody behind me, and then I get in trouble because I go to the back door, and then I get a highlight on me because somebody alley-ooped on my head. Like, Mitch Robinson is going to be big. I don't think he's going to get the accolades, but he could be on like a first, second, maybe not first, but I'm going to get second, third defensive team, and that would be huge for Mitch.
That'd be great. Mitch has looked great this preseason so far.
Yeah.
He's come back in shape, especially on the offensive glass. We all know that's Mitch's strong suit. Defensively, he's been there, active hands, boxing guys out. He's actually been much better boxing people out.
Yeah,
I saw him boxing out Miles Turner today. I was like, oh, Miles Turner's not moving you right now? Pretty solid.
freaking Miles Turner, bro.
Get that. I don't want to hear that man for any trade rumors to my basketball team.
None of that stuff is happening anymore, dude.
I know, but just I don't even want to think about it. That is just gross.
We're back.
He hasn't made a 3-point shot, which he's been known for. He hasn't made a 3-point shot at all this preseason.
Let me tell you something, Alex.
At all.
The New York Knicks rumors are going to be back to superstars. We're done with the random person here, random person there. From now on, it's going to be, can this player get us over the top? I started with Donovan Mitchell. I think that was like the beginning of it all. But from now on, it's going to be disgruntled superstar. I don't think it's going to be disgruntled role player. I think we might make little moves here and there. We mentioned at the top Cam Reddish. We mentioned McBride a little bit. Like, there are players that are going to interest other teams that don't necessarily have a spot in our rotation that we can maybe capitalize on. We'll see how Fournier does. Hopefully today was just a fluke. You know what I mean? Hopefully Grimes is healthy. We never talk about this. We just assume he's going to be healthy.
Well, he got some practice in. Tiz has been up to date on him.
Bro.
He's got some practice in, but I know.
I'm mistaken, bro. Next week we got to play a real game. He's gonna come off with no preseason. Like,
the last preseason game is this Friday.
I know he better play. So
he was doing some drills. He didn't do all of them. We'll see if he's back this week. But he's out of a boot.
Good start.
Yeah, he was in practice. He was at that practice in Harlem the other day.
Yep.
So he was doing his stuff.
Yep.
So we'll see. I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this Knicks team. This loss doesn't really. I mean, I get it. Doesn't really bother me. I mean, I would be exhausted too if I played, second quarter, then a fourth quarter and a half, a quarter and a half of basketball to end it off. Think about people. That's like, we're talking about 16 minutes of basketball. Talk about 17 at max minutes of basketball for some of these guys. In reality, that's 45 minutes straight of playing between stop and go. That's exhausting. If you haven't played pick a ball and played 45 minutes straight plus another beforehand, it's like an hour. Talk about an hour worth of basketball. Your legs are dead. All right, John, I think that covers it for today. We got a preseason game next week, but season's starting soon, man. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna be full swing, everything by next week.
Yeah, man. I'm already starting to take some Knicks, some like NBA playoff parlays on both sides, add the Knicks in there. Took some
before
Knicks
we get Alex here, give us your top three. Give us your top three.
Oh well, for playoffs, I think the guarantees like that are fun off the top of my head. For the West, the only teams I could like confidently like take is the Clippers, the Warriors. Shout out Greg, don't worry, didn't forget them, and the Denver Nuggets. Those are easy, but I think those three are definitely making the playoffs. And on the East, it's crazy to me that again off the top of my head, it's crazy to me that Boston is the favorite right now. I think that's crazy. They're missing their center. They're missing a coach. I'll go with the Knicks. Obviously, I think they're like plus 250 or something, or plus 250 or something like that. I take them to anchor it down. I take the Cleveland Cavaliers because they're not a huge favorite right now. They're going to be very soon to make the playoffs. And then I rounded out with, which unfortunately, I think this is the best team in the whole league, but the Bucks. I just take the Bucks because I think the Bucks are going to win it. So those six I take in every single parlay now. Even if I like if I take the Yankees money line, I throw in those six because I'm ready to go for this year. But I also, for fun, I mean, we're in the Winning Picks Weekly, etc. part of this pod right now. But for fun, I've been taking, just because I'm on a real high right now, I've been taking like Jets division, Rangers division, Knicks division, like Yankees to make the World Series. And that's like it's only like four things right now, and like that's like paying off so much. So I'm making like these little tiny bets right here, just like because when it's like, yo, what more could I ask for right now? I'm the happiest ever. All the sports are hitting. But like imagine I actually had a parlay with that in. So just throwing it out there. I'm excited about this New York Knicks season. I'm excited about where the New York Jets are headed. The New York Giants are a real team too. Like everything is good right now. The Rangers are I mean, they played like they are out for revenge, man. The Rangers are here to play. Man. They're here to play this year. So
and they're a young team.
And we got the Yankees, man. We got Garrett Cole shutting everybody the hell up. Like we did well without our best two players doing anything with Stan and Aaron Judge. And we still can't run the bases. It's been our Achilles heel all year. We've been morons on the bases.
While again, Chapman is somewhere in Miami doing whatever Chapman does. You know what I mean?
Dude, the vibes are immaculate around the New York Yankees, around the New York Knicks, and around the New York Jets. So, and the New York Rangers. So I could not be happier. Even the NYCFC is about to start playoffs right now. They're about to play at Citi Field. Things are looking good in New York right now, man.
Things are looking good indeed, and I think this is a good place to end it on an immaculate vibe statement by John. So thank you, everyone.
And Jalen Brunson.
And Jalen Brunson. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in for the Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. You know what to do to help support us for free. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a review or comment. We're also partnered with Minute Media and Fanside, so you can find this podcast on the Daily Knicks or the Jet Press. We also got that YouTube page. Knicks, Jets, ETC, period. No one writes out, etc. That shit's wild. If you find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And when you watch a video, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Add to the conversation. Okay, we want to know your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about this Knicks team this upcoming season? How do you feel about this loss to the Indiana Pacers? What do you think about Cam Reddish?
How do you feel about Mo Salah being the UEFA Champions League goal scorer The head league goal scorer. How do
Hey,
you
hey,
feel?
hey! This is Knicks, not soccer. Wow! Whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
my
whoa,
bad,
whoa,
my
whoa,
bad,
whoa,
my
whoa,
bad.
whoa. Relax over there. Relax
My
over
bad.
there. But you can put that over. You can answer that question on Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, and our guy and co-host Chip Murphy. These guys go through every single sport possible. You name it, they cover it. NFL, college football is in season. These guys are giving you their takes. So if you need to put money down the line because you have betting on sports, you have sports gambling, these guys got you covered. All right. John's talking soccer. Of course, he's going to talk about Mo Salah. Come on, what is this? Nuts?
Oh, he got a hat trick today in UEFA Champions League, man.
Did you put a prop bet down on that?
No, I wish I did. That would be sick. Liverpool's been making me sick, so I'm just hyped they won. They killed them 7-1.
Nice. And then last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets, etc. podcast. We out.
Let's go, Yankees.